After spending a month to train to be a stuntman in Washington, it was time to go back home to California. I spent a few hours on the road and made it to Portland. I ended up at a Goodwill thrift store that had aisles dedicated to Halloween and Christmas. I bought some glow sticks and found myself at a Mexican restaurant. I checked into a hotel and got an Uber to Portland's International Rose Test Garden. It was beautiful, and best of all, it was free. There's over 10,000 rose bushes in this one garden. Rose companies from around the world will give over 2,000 roses every year to this garden. I walked for hours and made sure to see as much as I can before the sun goes down. I found a staircase that leads to a multitude of other trails. I walked up the stairs and went straight back down. I wanted to fully explore the area before I moved on to a new area. I decided to check out the Oregon Holocaust Memorial and started making my way there. Along the way, I had to walk through a beautiful neighborhood. Each property was completely different and I wished I could stay longer. I absolutely love neighborhoods like these. Every house is unique. It always makes me wonder what it's like to live in a house that's truly one of a kind. Passing an abandoned structure, I made my way to the Holocaust Memorial. On the path leading to the memorial, there were objects stuck to the ground, a replication of items lost amongst chaos during the Holocaust. It was a sad sight and a great visit. There's not much else to say. I walked back to the rose garden, which was much more empty, and climbed back up the staircase to explore another area. The trails took me between backyards and into more neighborhoods. I ended up at the Hoyt Arboretum and kept walking the trails. They were beautiful and fun to explore. I passed what looked like a wedding and took an Uber back to my hotel. Along the way, I had a great chat with my driver about Crater Lake, so I got just enough sleep and checked out of my hotel before the sun was up and headed straight to Crater Lake National Park. I was alone. And I can't describe how happy I feel when I'm alone and in a new place by myself. I decided to hike the Mount Scott Trail and found out it was the tallest mountain in Crater Lake National Park.
I'm coming for you.
I decided to make climbing this mountain a new goal. If there was a time to climb this mountain, it would be now. The trails and park are empty, and I have a mountain to myself.
Almost there.
I was not, in fact, almost there. I slowed down every now and then to take a sip of water or make a quick video.
Look at that view. Crater Lake, way over there now. We came in on that road right there. Yeah, the parking area is right there. That's the parking area. So I went all the way around the back side of there, up the side of here, and now I'm here. So close.
Eventually, I made it to the top of the mountain.
There it is. There it is.
At the peak of Mount Scott lies an abandoned Firewatch lookout tower.
Oh man. First mountain climb. Solo mountain climb. It's not even afternoon yet. After half an hour of walking down, this is the view of the top of that mountain, Mount Scott. That's where I was. Well, more walking.
I headed down the mountain and drove to a cabin I had bought for the night. I made it to the check-in area and asked the staff member where to check into my cabin. The worker told me I'd just go to my designated location with no need to check in. After some confusing back and forth with some staff members, I finally got myself checked in, but then I had to wait for the cleaning crew to finally clean our cabin. I ended up waiting almost 2 hours for them to clean my cabin and finally be able to get settled into my cabin.
Still waiting. No offense to these people, but they work so slow. And they just started cleaning our cabin. These vehicles are really cute though.
After checking in, I waited until dark and everyone went to bed and pulled out my PVS-14 night vision monocular and walked around the campsite. In the morning, I packed my things and made the final drive into California. Along the way, I passed by another mountain I hope to climb one day. The scenery during the drive was beautiful and I wished I was able to explore it all. But I was ready for a break and was ready to sleep in my own bed again. But instead of heading home, I checked out my old workplace and hung out with my old co-workers. Okay, bye! Rose companies from around the world Rose companies from all around the world will give this garden over the I can't read my random facts. Rose companies from around the world will give to over what am I saying?
The worst part about making videos, setting the camera down and having to come back for it.
Passing an abandoned structure, I made my way to the Holocaust The scenery during the drive was beautiful, and I walked back to the rose garden, which was much more empty, and climbed back up to the staircase to explore. What? Staircase? What? Oh man, I skipped a part. Eventually, I made it up to the top of the up to the what mountain? Along the way, I had a great chat with my driver about Crater Lake. Great chat with my driver.